I have two phones. Why do I have two phones? Because I'm an idiot. Hey team, welcome back! Yes, I am an idiot. Here's the story. So last weekend I'm in New York with Chris Ramsey. That's this guy. Look at those toes. Gross, they're so long. It's not even a wide angle lens. Just kidding, it is. Chris and I are in New York for some meetings with some TV networks. Oh, secrets! Can't tell you what for. Oh, not being intentionally vague. Just meetings, that's all it was. Just meetings so far. But we decided to go out after and have a few beers. Or several beers. And around 1 in the morning, I tap out. Chris, he just has more drinking stamina than I do. I start early and I end early. That's just kind of how I am. So I take the Uber back to our hotel. Chris is staying at the bar. I'm listening to music in my AirPods, feeling that drunk buzz, living life. The Uber pulls up, I get out, feeling good. All of a sudden my music's just like, I'm like, what the hell? My phone is driving down the streets of Manhattan. Bye. A terrible way to find out you're missing your phone is by having your AirPods cut out. You're just like, oh no. And since I wasn't with anybody, I couldn't call my phone or the Uber. I'm drunk and it's like 1:30 in the morning and now I don't know what to do. So I get up the next day, I try contacting Uber, I explain the story to Chris. He thinks it's endlessly funny. It's not. Phones are expensive. And I just got it. So I tried contacting Uber. I'm getting redirected to voicemails and emails and filling out forms and trying to contact the driver and nothing's happening. I need to figure this out now because I don't live in New York City and I'm heading away. Like, not only am I not going back home to my place in Toronto, I'm actually going to the Bahamas with my wife for a vacation for a few days and I just really need my phone. How long are you gonna wait? So I'm like, whatever, I'm going to the iPhone store. I guess I'm just writing that off as like, hey, you're stupid for drinking and losing your phone, so let's go get a new one. So I go to the Apple store and I buy a new phone. And obviously at the Apple store, I'm like, hey, you know, my other phone's gone for good, so I buy this new one. I throw out all the packaging, everything. I say, I don't care. I don't need it. I got my new phone. Well, fast forward like 10 hours later, I get a call from the Uber driver being like, hey, I have your phone. And he meets me and he gives me my phone back. So yay, now I got two phones. I didn't have time to go back to the Apple store and try and explain or whatever. So I've been to the Bahamas now. Went on a vacation, took both my phones. Why not? Talk to myself. Now I'm back home in Toronto. I got two phones. I don't even know what I can do. Do I gotta sell one? I mean, I don't have any of the packaging or anything, but can I still take it back to Apple? I don't know, I'm gonna try that today. But I'm an idiot and have two phones. So in honor of my stupidity, I have made some socks. They are white. They look normal. But on the bottoms, when you put your feet up, people know your philosophy now. It says, life is good, beer is great. I just thought I'd make those socks and throw them up on the site. All this to say, I just got back from vacation, not a long one, just did 4 days in the Bahamas. And I was gonna make a video when I was down there, but then I really got to be thinking about like, no, don't make a video, actually be on vacation for once. And then I started thinking about all the jobs I've had. And ever since I've been self-employed as a magician, I forget to take actual breaks. Like I travel all the time for work and it's all, my life is like fun, but I'm working constantly. I'm always trying to make videos, always doing shows, always just working on the next deal, you know, next gig, next thing, next whatever. So it doesn't feel like I don't ever really just take any time for myself. That's what these last 4 days in the Bahamas were. They were just me taking a break. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna go through all the jobs I've had. I've had 12 jobs. And let me know, and I would love to know in the comments if any of you guys have worked any of these jobs. You know, maybe we've had some of the same jobs, or maybe tell me like your worst job or your best job. On the list of every job I've had, the good, the bad, and how I got fired by my best friend. The first job I ever had was kind of like landscaper. That's a very loose term, I would say. Cutting lawn for the neighbors and stuff. That was sort of, my brother and I had this little lawn cutting business that we started up. Something we found out very quickly is people are willing to pay $30, $40, $50, $60, if depending on how big their place is, to get their lawn, you know, cut, trimmed, bagged, all that raked up, whatever. Like, it was endless, the amount of pruning and leaves, and we were kind of learning as we're going for something. Some stuff we already knew, but other stuff we were learning as we're going. We were teenagers, and when you're a teenager, and we cut 4, 5, 6 lawns, and we're gonna be each making $150, that was crazy. Like it was, I got no bills when I'm in high school. It was like, that was my very first job I remember doing. Then I got like an actual job where I went to, my brother and I started working at a sawmill as part of the cleanup crew. It was gross. Like you're just like cleaning up like oil and hydraulic stuff from underneath the stuff and cleaning the wood out from the chains, and it was real gross work, but like that's what it's for. And I'd work one 10-hour shift on a Saturday. I'm gonna get $170. Again, high school guy, make $170 a weekend. that was taking care of all my bills. I felt like the richest guy in high school. It was crazy. I was also a baseball umpire and basketball referee. Those didn't really pay that well, but they were both sports I was interested in and playing already. So you could make an extra 25 or 30 bucks if you did a game. It seemed like a good thing to do. Probably, yeah, it's probably the first time in my life in both those situations, you're in charge. Like there's, 20 players in each team and adult coaches and all the adult parents in the stands and whatever you say goes. That's a weird experience when you're 15, 16, 17. I think it's important for everyone to learn that kind of thing. I mean, I remember I made some real bad calls and people are yelling at you and you know when you make a bad call, but you can't take it back. I mean, this is, you called it as you called it, and it was a really eye-opening experience. Wouldn't say I enjoyed doing it, but it was definitely beneficial. I think it's good for life. Pretty cool. I never really reflected on that until right now, but yeah, that was interesting. That's all I did in high school. That's all I did. After high school, I went to university. When I was in university, I didn't really work except for in the summers. I worked for the city of Surrey, near where I grew up. And it was a really great job. They set up a job for university students. So when they got out of school, they would work full time through the summer. And then they'd go back to school. They were on contract, and you had to be going to university, and it was really hard to get, but it was like a good government job. They paid really well. Yeah, it was like a really good job. My first job there was reading water meters, and it was cool for like a week. They gave me my own car and my own list of places to go, and I'd drive around and I'd have to read these water meters. Beep, write down how much usage. Beep, oh, okay, is it working? Beep, oh, this one's broken. 8 hours a day. Just looking at water meters, and did that novelty fade quick. So after that, I didn't want to do that anymore. So I switched, same program, but I switched over into this road maintenance thing, where basically like you fill potholes in the road and pick up garbage, and you're cutting grass and stuff, and that was good. I mean, I didn't really like the work. It wasn't as easy as water meters, but you actually worked with a group of people, so it wasn't so lonely, and then the day goes by quicker. When you're working and you're talking to people and you're getting jobs done, the day goes by quicker than driving around in a car by yourself, just beep, beep. So I like that a bit more. Next year, I switched up completely because one of my buddies was a forest firefighter. So that's what I did. I went and did forest firefighting. Another super hard job to get. You gotta go interview, then you gotta go to boot camp, and they gotta choose you and get on a crew. That was the hardest job I've ever had in my life. I'm on a 20-person unit crew. It's a fucking forest fire. So like when you're working. Go up in the middle of the bush, middle of nowhere, and you're working like 14 hours a day minimum for like 2 weeks at a time. Then you come back, get a few days off, and if there's another fire, you go back out to the other fire. It was crazy. I mean, I got to see parts of Canada I had never seen before, and probably never will see again. Some of it's a million miles in the middle of nowhere. Hot, the bugs, the smoke, the fire, grueling, back-breaking work, bent over, digging stuff, carrying hose through the bush, setting up pumps. Man, but I got to ride around a lot of helicopters. I got to see some beautiful country. You're working, and you're with these 20 guys, and they all are working too. And that's what I love. I love that camaraderie. It felt like a team, like a sports team thing, right? We're all in this together. Someone tell me like this, I'm not wrong here, right? The jobs where you suffer the most with other people are the ones where like you look back sort of with the most fondness. And those friends that you made there are like for sure lifelong friends, you know? Like of course they are. Like am I right about this? Let me know if this has been your experience. Like the harder the job or the more crazy shit you had to go through, like the more unifying it was for your whole crew, right? I mean, that's what it felt like to me. I would love to hear from you. I mean, man, that was, I look back on that and just, that was the best. But it did take me away all summer, so I wasn't around. I don't really like missing things, so I knew I didn't want to do that long term. After that, I was bouncing around a little bit. I didn't really know what was going on, so I started being a ski guide, take these busloads of people up from Vancouver up to Whistler. We did other mountains, but it was mostly that route. And my job mostly was to entertain them on the bus, make sure they got checked into their hotels and everything. I meet them on the mountain for a little bit, but it wasn't like I had to ski with them all day. It was mostly just, you're more like, less of a ski guide and more of like a ski trip host is what most of my job was. Sitting in hot tubs, drinking beers, skiing for free, entertain people, and then at night I got to take them out and show them, what club to go to and where to have the drinks and stuff. I was single at the time, so I was talking to the ladies. Oh yeah, but it didn't pay very well, obviously. I mean, there's just too many perks. It barely paid anything at all. It was just ski for free and have a great weekend. So, I mean, I did that quite a bit. And then I was also at the same time picking balls at a driving range. My best friend Mark worked at this driving range. He was like the supervisor guy, I guess, the driving range. And I told him I needed some money. So he's like, well, you come pick balls at the driving range. It doesn't pay very much. It was like $10 an hour. Probably the least amount of money I'd ever earned in my life. But I was like, yeah, I need the money. I got to do it. So I started going pick balls at the driving range. It was super late at night. It was always on like really bad days too, like days where I would normally want to go out drinking. I got to go to this driving range and pick balls. It sucked, man. You're walking around with these things. I didn't get to drive the cart either. I'm the new guy. I got these like two little hand suctiony things, and you stick them on the balls and it suck the balls up. Go doom, 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 doom. Did not appreciate that. I don't know what it was about it. I don't know if it was the time of day or just the physical work wasn't hard. I didn't really mind that. You know what it was? I think it was I was always missing out on fun stuff because it was like that prime time at night where you'd start at like 8 at night and I wouldn't finish till like after midnight. So that would be when everybody wanted to go out for beers, and that's what I loved to do at the time. Still do. And I hated that I was trading that for like not very much money. That's what really bothered me, I think, when I'm thinking back on it. So I wasn't a very good employee there. And my buddy Mark one day, I called him and I said, hey man, I can't come in. Like I'd already decided to start drinking with my friends and I was getting drunk and I can't go to work now. And I mean, it's just my buddy Mark, and I'd already done this to him a few times. And this time he's like, well, hey, how about you don't come in? You just don't come in tomorrow. And I'm like, no, I'll be in tomorrow. And he's like, no, I think you shouldn't come in tomorrow. I'm like, no, I'll be in tomorrow, man. I won't, yeah, all good. I'll come in tomorrow. He's like, Wes, what I'm saying to you is, I don't really think I'm helping you anymore, right? I know I gave you this job to help you. I don't really think I'm helping you anymore. I'm like, no, man, it's a great help. He's like, okay, Wes, you're fired. You're bad at this. And I was like, only time I ever got fired from a job. My best friend fired me. I don't blame him. I didn't really even blame him at the time. It hurt. I'm not gonna lie. It was like, because like you don't want to be unreliable to your best buddy. But I cut deep. But Mark, hey man, sorry. Well, after Mark fired me, now I have my nights free again. So yay! But then I realized I still need money, and I couldn't find anything else. So I decided to be a bouncer. My other buddy gave me a job being a bouncer, which is hilarious because they're all like these huge guys that like do, and then there's me, boom. I'm also a bouncer, like. Ugh. I only did that job for 6 months. Again, the hours just were not for me. That one didn't finish till like 3, 4 in the morning. I didn't like that vibe. Standing in a club like this, you know, looking around, wasn't for me. I mean, there's just you ever be sober and watch drunk people? It's just not fun. Like, I either want to be drunk with them or nowhere near that scene. So it's just too much. And I had a couple crazy incidences that I will probably tell you on a different story. But I also don't like being in fights. And bouncing sometimes leads to a lot of fights. Yeah, not for me. I quit university. I didn't want to finish my degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a job lined up. So that place where I'd worked in the summers through university, like at the city job, doing the water meters and then the road maintenance and stuff, I went back there and I got a job with them, but like not just the summers, like a full-time job. That was cool. And I started working on the water crew, where like you know dig down the holes and you fix water mains or install fire hydrants, that kind of thing. And that was crazy. Again, really hard work. But then again, I was like on a crew again, working with 4 guys, and it was the same people every day. So it was fun, hard work but fun. I'm down in the bottom of a hole, covered in dirt, pulling on pipes and stuff, like hard work, and in the rain, like you're outside, like I mean, you know. Yeah, but it's one of those ones that I did enjoy the hardness of it, you know, the physical hard work of it all. I mean, you guys can relate, right? I mean, I'm sure people on here totally know what I'm talking about. I mean, I can't really articulate it very well, but I'm sure you get it. But then after that, I switched back to the roads and drainage part, the road maintenance one, filling potholes, cutting the grass, pick up garbage, fill the potholes on the side of the road kind of thing. And that's all well and good. I didn't like that one as much. But that was where I was learning magic, right? I had a little bit more downtime in that job. Like my lunch breaks for the most part spent by myself in the truck on the side of the road. So I was just learning magic and playing my cards and stuff. And that's the job that I quit to become a magician, which is best thing that ever happened. Which brings me to my 11th job, not 12th, my 11th job. Now it is still my last job, but I did do one more job in between here, which I almost forgot. I quit my job when I was 25. Then I went like 4 years or so without doing anything else, maybe 5. And then my buddy started this side company building stairs. So I started building stairs. He worked full time, and this was a side gig where he'd build these big stairs out of wood. I don't know what the hell, they're just big long sets of stairs, and they'd stack them on these trucks and they'd get shipped off somewhere. I don't know where they're going. He needed someone that could, run a tape measure and a skill saw and a table saw and reliably build stairs. Well, I'm your guy. I can do that. I'm a magician and mostly working at night. So sometimes during the weeks, I would go in and I would build stairs for my buddy Rob while he was at his day job. It wasn't like a full-time thing. It was just week to week here and there. But I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, like I hated it again, but it had been like 5 years since I'd done any physical labor. Like, tell me, like, please, if you made it this far in this video, I would love to know, can anyone relate to that? Where like you used to have a physical job where you're like physically sweating and working, and then all of a sudden you got moved to front of house or a desk or something where you weren't being as physical, you weren't doing anything physical. And don't you miss it? I did. I got there, I'm covered in sweat and sawdust, and I'm flipping over things and moving stairs and using the saw and hard hat, earmuffs, driving a forklift, just woo, like I don't know what it was. I didn't have to be there kind of feel, and I could just do it if I wanted to. Man, I loved it. I'm not gonna lie, again, don't want to go back there, but I did love doing it. But he since sold that business and moved on, and I moved away and whatever, so not doing that anymore. But that was a fun little breakup to my usual sitting by the computer trying to think of a good video idea or a new magic trick or whatever. Anyways, that's all my jobs. Now I'm a magician, doing this and doing my live shows. What more could you ask for? But yeah, so all this to say, thank you guys for sticking with me. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. So, hey, life is good. Beer is great. If you want the socks, have some socks. $10. Go for it. People don't really know how you feel till you kicking back, and now they go, oh yeah, that's his philosophy. That's his philosophy. I see. Oh, this week I'm going out to film a brand new magic trick, and I'm going to upload it next Monday at noon. And I think the next 2 weeks actually. The next 2 weeks are magic tricks because I got a couple new ideas rattling around, so it'll be fun to get those filmed and let you guys see what you think. Man, it's crazy. I'm sure everyone, like if I sat you down and asked what jobs you've had, I'm sure they're all over the map. It's crazy how life isn't just like this. It's like this. And I think that's really neat. So please let me know if you had any of the same jobs I've had and what you thought of them, or what your favorite or least favorite job was that you've ever had. I'm super interested. So thanks for watching this. All this to say that I didn't make a magic video when I was in the Bahamas because I was actually taking a vacation, and I feel good about that. I feel good about taking a vacation. You gotta remember to take a vacation. If you're self-employed, you totally know what I'm saying. You gotta just stop and take some time off. You feel like you're missing out, I'm gonna miss the gig or the job or the client, whatever you do. No man, only 4 days. I took only 4 days and I chilled out and I feel great. If you're not self-employed, I'm sure you remember to take your vacations if you're working for somebody else. Hey, thanks team, thanks for coming out. I hope you guys are well, and I'll see you next week. Right on. So yeah, get some socks. Why not? Life is good, beer's great. I'm gonna grab a beer. Take care, everybody. See you next week with a new magic trick.